Welcome back to another episode of the My Latin Life podcast. Since 2014, My Latin Life has been your trusted guide for traveling and living in Latin America. Today, I'm joined in person by a guest here in Playa del Carmen, and I'm here with my buddy Ramon. What's good, man?
What's good, man? Nice to finally be here. Finally made it.
Yeah, we've been trying to schedule an episode for a little bit. I wish we could do it when I had my baller apartment before. Now I switched units in the same building, got the studio going on, but it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, here's an opening travel tip for anyone listening, is that with an LED strip and a little bit of incense, candles, you can change the vibe of any spot.
Yeah, for sure. I think it will look just fine for the viewers and listeners.
Well,
at least you have a good desk, man. Like that's, I think, the most important and hard thing to find if you just, especially in like a small apartment like this.
Dude, yes, we will intro you, but it's so random how like most Airbnbs don't even have a desk.
Yeah.
And it's like, how am I supposed to make money without a desk?
I agree.
Makes no sense.
Especially
okay.
the small ones, yeah.
So I almost don't even know how to give you a full introduction.
Sure.
My boy Ramon here, we first met in Panama City. So we met in Panama at the Selena Hotel in Panama. Talking about e-commerce, working online, talking a bit about Panama as a destination for residency and things like that. And then we also met up in Bocas del Toro. So we met up on the Caribbean side of Panama.
Exactly.
Also in the Selena, another branch of it. Basically, chilling, visiting some islands, island hopping on boats and stuff like that, which was dope. Yeah. And then so now we've met up, I guess in a third city now in Playa del Carmen, which is dope. So Ramon here. You also go by @RG on Instagram when it's not deactivated.
Yeah, I used to. Let's leave it like that.
Are you gonna sell it?
We can go into that a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah. So he's got a mysteriously valuable Instagram handle. You're from Switzerland.
Yes, I am. I basically grew up in Switzerland. Mm-hmm. I am Swiss citizen. Yeah.
And you are big in the e-commerce space. I guess dropshipping would be maybe a good way to describe probably one of your core competencies in the online space would be dropshipping.
Yeah, you started out dropshipping itself is just like a fulfillment model, how you bring the products to the customer. It doesn't like really describe anything else. It's just like bringing inventory directly from like the manufacturer without touching it yourself to the customer. But I would say if you like talk about main competencies, it would be like, I don't know, brand building online, maybe in the e-commerce space, but yeah, all around, like mostly what I do like in the day-to-day is just like the paid advertisement. So Facebook now, a lot of it is also TikTok. Mm-hmm. I did Snapchat, Pinterest, all of that stuff. And yeah, like the whole growth aspect of the brands, which is mainly also like a team behind it now and outsourced. Yeah.
Unreal. And I want to get into this in quite a bit more detail.
For sure, yeah.
This is the thing when you meet digital nomads is you just go, oh yeah, I'm an internet marketer. Yeah, I work in e-commerce. Yeah. And you just sort of leave it at that and everyone just sort of chills and drinks beer and goes out and never like fully discovers what people like are actually good at or what they're actually working on.
For sure.
I almost feel like every nomad is like working for their own like thing, but like together with other people who are also all working on their own random thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. And but I don't know, dude, something about you just tells me that you got some like Elon Musk level shit going on that we're really interviewing.
For sure.
Someone who might be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company someday.
I'm not sure if I like aspire to be that though. I like to do my own stuff. I'm not like, I don't know, going any corporate route. Or you mean like build my own company that's gonna be like a Fortune 500 level?
I mean, like get into the big leagues, be like like a really big.
Yeah,
hitter.
I would see myself more as like an entrepreneur in like different kind of ventures. I wouldn't like talk about myself as like an internet marketer. I wouldn't describe myself as that. I'm like more broad, and what I'm good in also is like business development, like bringing people together, seeing opportunities, and just making them happen in whatever space it is. Like I built SaaS businesses as well now in the last 2 years. It's not only like e-commerce, and also like maybe we can get into like crypto space as well, where we build projects now. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of things. But it started out with dropshipping. That's where I made most of my money. And yeah, you could say I'm a dropshipper for sure. If you want to put me in like some kind of, I don't know, box, I guess.
Okay.
That's just like if you meet a digital nomad in the gym and you ask them what I do and they say dropshipping, you say, yeah, I do dropshipping too. You don't get into what they actually do. So
Right. And I think if you do any of these skills, you really learn a lot about SEO. You learn about paid acquisition, and it sort of expands into different areas, and then people sort of move niches a little bit, but a lot of those skills transfer over and everything.
for sure.
So I think people listening can probably tell that you're definitely like a smart guy about this stuff, and you're not like a fly by night, like get rich quick dropshipper guy. You're kind of like a smarter business guy, and I feel like you definitely have authority when it comes to the online space. This is the My Latin Life podcast, where we do want to like wrap things around to Latin America. Obviously, we talk about e-commerce, working online, becoming location independent, and that stuff's big. We talk about residencies and all that stuff. We talk about like people who have made a move from, cold, depressing cities in the north down to warm, sunny Latin America, $1 beers, palm trees, walking distance from the beach.
Agree, man. Yeah, for sure.
So how did that all like get started with you with the travel aspect?
So the travel aspect in general, or like how I ended up in Playa?
Whatever came first.
Yeah, for sure. So me personally, I was a traveler for like a long time, even before I was like financially independent. So I studied. I was in university. I was actually 2 times in university. I'm a 2 times dropout, which is also a funny story.
No way.
Yeah.
From the same school?
No, not from the same school.
Okay.
No, I just first enrolled in computer science, which I liked. Like I was programming since I was like 14. I was trying to do that stuff. But like the university was just like too theoretical. It wasn't like anything like building practical stuff. I'm more like a builder, I want to do stuff. And I was in a super, I don't know, like a super science driven school where like I had like, basically I only had like 4 subjects in school and like 3 of them were math. So, and after dropping out, like, that was actually like when I went to travel for the first time for like a really long time. Like after I dropped out the first time out of university, I went to Asia for 6 months straight. I went to Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore. Yeah, the most time I spent actually in Indonesia.
In Bali and stuff.
Yeah, mainly in Bali. I fell in, like at first when I arrived in Bali, man, I didn't fuck with it at all. I'm sorry if I can't swear here.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't like it at all, but when I came to this town called Canggu, which is like super famous for digital nomads, I saw all of these people living the life.
Canggu, which is like part of Bali.
Is a part of Bali.
And people were surfing.
It's the main, like there's a couple digital nomad hotspots on Bali, but like Canggu is the main at the beach with like the surf vibe.
Yeah.
And people are just there, like having their businesses online, living the life. I don't know, like your money goes around 9 times more, like more far in Bali than in like Europe. Like in America, like $1 is like equal to $9. I read a study about that. So yeah.
And so you were traveling first before you were making money online?
Yeah, I did. Like I went backpacking a couple of times. Like I was in Asia like 3 or 4 times just backpacking with friends, with my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I was an all-around traveler basically. And then I enrolled in university my second time, which was business school. Yeah, but just like after I was actually in the business school for quite long, almost 2 years. But like during my first year, I just like saw where all of my like colleagues and like the other students were going. They basically tried to like go into this corporate route. It's like it's like one of the best business schools in Europe, and most people try to go.
Which one is this?
It's called University St. Gallen in Switzerland. It's like the best German speaking, and like for certain aspects it's the best in the world, like for management, like where big like CEOs of UBS and stuff came from.
Okay.
And like there's a couple of routes you can take if you go to a university like that. Like first of all, business degree is mainly for the paper, you know. You want good grades and you want to get a job. Like it's not for skills or anything. I mean, you learn stuff for sure. I learned stuff there for sure. I'm sorry if I like talk about random stuff, but I actually
no. I think this is relevant. This is relevant to a lot of people because I think for the younger guys, it's interesting because a lot of people think about dropping out, or they're questioning the school model, or even just looking back in hindsight. It's interesting to see the different paths people had, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But I think if you look at it that way, it's also about like personality, and I'm a huge risk taker. So I don't know. If I look back, I went paths that had like the least chance of success, but like the highest reward basically.
Yeah.
Like there were points where I could like failed university, failed all my business things, and like went back home, were completely broke, like had my parents like completely being bad and like sad about the situation, and like like having everyone in my life being like, I don't even know how to say that in English, like being not happy about the decisions I take, like kind of saying it in a good way.
I know what you mean, but you're also from Switzerland where it's like impossible to fail.
How come you say that?
Well, there's a huge safety net. Like you're never gonna be like in a tent.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. But obviously, I was young, man. I was 22.
But there's people. Fail. Obviously, there's expectations. They're like, oh my God, Ramon's going to the best school. Yeah, he's gonna graduate. He's gonna work for KPMG.
That's that, man. That's that. And also, if you like at university and your parents pay everything for you, like they pay your whole life, they pay a few grand a month for your life, you owe them something, man. You're not entitled. Like, that's honestly something I believe in. As long as someone else pays for your life, you're not entitled to your like own decisions. You owe them something. And if you want to make your own, like, be actually your own, adult, you need to make your own money. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so funny that you explain this so eloquently because we definitely feel the exact same story on our side of the pond as well. Like in Toronto, we grew up in like a good neighborhood, and we have the same sort of set of experiences where we had it easy, or we feel like the guilt, and we feel like maybe we can't make drastic changes, and we have to stick to the script.
Most people don't even feel that guilt, I guess. Like they don't have like that guilt or like that feeling of responsibility towards their parents and stuff. They just,
I think most people do. I think it takes different forms. For some people, it's like, I was so spoiled and got shit paid for that I feel the guilt to succeed. For some people, it's almost more of like a true necessity where it's like, oh, I'm the oldest sibling or whatever, and I need to support everybody. And
for sure.
And it sucks because, I mean, and this is happening all over the world. Just think about, like, there's 10 million people in the state of Ohio. And I'm like, what is everyone in Ohio doing? There's just like rusted factories, you know what I mean? And they're there because they have like generations of their family that they feel the guilt and they kind of need them. And basically it's like, if you think about
that, could be either about guilt or not even like having the horizon to think like outside of where they came from and what their parents did, and like, I don't know, all this stuff that we do or like other entrepreneurs, especially in the online space, do. You first need to like know about them, that they even exist and that's even possible. And then even if people see that someone else did them, most people don't think, they think like, yeah, that's an outlier, he got lucky, he's just like one of 1,000 that can make it. But I have a completely different outlook. Like, I don't know, if I see someone else doing something, it means that I can do the same. Like, if someone else can do it, why can't I do it? Like, most people are not like something different, you know?
So, yeah, that's a good attitude.
Yeah.
And I mean, you obviously worked hard. It wasn't like a fluke to get where you are and to really start making real money online.
I mean, I can talk about a lot about this stuff for hours. So basically, when going back to business school, like as I said, in being in that business school, you either go to consulting, as you said, like KPMG and like the big four or whatever it's called, or you go to like investment banking. You know, in Switzerland we have like all the big banks, like Credit Suisse, UBS, all of those banks. And like, I don't know, it's just like most people want to get an internship at like a place like that and then just climb the corporate ladder for like 40 years straight. And that I never could identify myself with like those people. And the thing is, in this like super premium, basically business class, where like we had like 60% of students came from all over the world just to study there. Like it was only 40% actually Swiss people. And like everyone, like most people came from super rich families. Like some people got driven there like with Rolls Royce, with like the fucking helicopter, like straight to the university and stuff like that. And even the Swiss people, like they had the attitude like from the first day, like I want to go to, I don't know, like Credit Suisse, Goldman Sachs, man. Like if you get the internship at Goldman Sachs, you made it. That's like the attitude, and I could never identify with that. And yeah, I mean, like for me, it was all like I think before I even enrolled to business school, I like tried just like I think I should like go back quite some time though to like explain the whole story. So for me, since I was like 14. I was mainly like reading books like 0 to 1 from Peter Thiel, you know that, like tech books and stuff like that, like seeing stories like even Spiegel as the founder of Snapchat, like being super young, like in their early 20s, like just
reading TechCrunch.
Yeah, but I mean, like I was just amazed by stories like that, like as an example, like even Spiegel, like super young, like just I don't know, in his like home garage, he just programmed some app and like became like a multi-billionaire. I mean, Snapchat is a $17 billion company now, but back then he was like a multi-millionaire super fast. And he just like had one idea, and he wasn't like he was a dropout, and he wasn't like like even back
just a guy who built some software.
Like even back then I had this like attitude, like if someone can do that, I can do that. And I was like back at 14, and like back then I thought like my way to like financial freedom, location independence, and basically just all around freedom was through tech, like through like programming. So basically I learned Python and stuff at like 14, and I always knew like when I was at high school, I always knew I want to go like to computer science school, because like basically all of those guys, like I read in 0 to 1 from Peter Thiel that like 70 out of 100 billionaires are like tech billionaires. That my goal was always like to build the next Facebook, and like most of them are just like computer science dropouts and with like a startup from their garage. And that was always my way. And I thought like even if I can't make that, computer science is still like the future. I would still have like a skill that I could like do freelancing or like live somewhere in Asia or whatever, build stuff on my own. That was like my goal, like build stuff on my own, like monetize my own shit, and kind of like, I don't know, be independent. I had that mindset pretty early, which is something super rare. Like even people that I know now, just like now at like 23, 24, 25, or like even older, even realize that it's like possible, you know, or like even through like now the pandemic, they see that like all the people can actually work remote and it works. But I had this like mindset super early, which I think was for me like something super, I guess, influential of everything that I did. And
so you were sort of enamored with the culture of Silicon Valley early on.
Yeah.
You were seeing articles about, 20 million Series A, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, just the Silicon Valley show came out. And
for me, no. I know that show, but I never watched that.
I mean, for me, it was like kind of after like Facebook IPO'd. They were like, damn, like that was like a garage dorm room startup to IPO real fast.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just like, I mean, I worked an internship in Silicon Valley for a venture capital firm as like a VC analyst in 2013. So I was pretty exposed to it early on.
Yeah.
And there's just so much like excitement every like new piece of news.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Uber was like still just like raising money and shit.
Yeah, but just to turn back, or like to go back a little bit on that, for me it was less about like whole Silicon Valley, but more about that I knew I want location independence. I want like be free about like money stuff. I don't want to be like tied to like, I don't know, some employer paying you. And for me, like the first thing I saw to make that possible was like tech, you know. Well, the first thing I saw to be independent, make like a lot of money, and was like building, like my dream till I was like 18, 19 was build the next Facebook. That was what I had in my head, and that's why I went to computer science basically to make that degree. And then I don't know, since I saw like I mean like building an app like that is something that takes years, and it takes like, as you said, like a huge funding round, and it's like years of work before it even like turns any profit at all. And it's not like a cash flow business, you know. It's not like dropshipping where you invest $1 in advertising now, and if it works, you have the money back in 3 days on your bank account. You know what I mean? That's like something super cash flow positive.
Yeah, there's definitely a big sort of gap in a lot of people's minds between like Silicon Valley and between what you'd almost call like the practical e-commerce world, which is like FBA, drop shipping, basically shit that you could sell on Empire Flippers, AdSense sites, affiliates, websites. And there's definitely a lot of overlap, especially when it comes to like growth and different things. But at least in America, they sort of like box them in different categories. I want to come back to that a bit, but I wanted to like sort of buckle on school stuff a bit. And it's something that I experienced too. You know, I went to like another like so-called prestigious business school. I graduated. I also saw like the rich kids from different countries.
How is it actually? If university in like Canada, is it for free?
I was in the States. Actually, I went to school. Actually, I went both. I went to university in Canada first, and then the States. But but my point was,
I guess like Canada being a super social.
So my point or question was kind of like this: is that when you go to like a really high end school, or you're on like a high end track from early on, which I'm guessing you kind of were, and that it's actually almost harder to do something independent because you're actually on a really good track.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you know, you're maybe like 5 years out of school or something, and those people that you went to or more now, how old are you? Like 26?
I'm 25.
You're 25? And then
out of university, I'm just not even 3 years.
Yeah, and then
just 2.5 years.
People who you went to school with, even people who were in your classes while you were there, they're currently working at Goldman Sachs.
No, they're still in the university.
They're still in the university.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are at Goldman Sachs, and they're at UBS, and they're at KPMG and all that.
Yeah.
I guess arguably you probably did, or you're like maybe arguably like quote unquote more ahead in some aspects, but it's almost like do you feel the pressure?
I mean, like to be like in the 1% at my age in the United States, you need to have like a net worth of 80,000, and I'm like 15 times that, or like even more, like 20 times that. So I guess I'm ahead like by far over them. But yeah, that's just one measurement. I mean, that's not everything in life. I mean, you should go down the way that like fulfills you and like, I don't know, makes you happy in the end. I guess happy is like a weird word. You don't know what it means. It means something else for everyone, but it was definitely not my path. Wouldn't have like fulfilled myself for sure.
For sure. And so like how did you, like, what was your first like big success in online business? Yeah.
So going back to that, I guess. So I think at the time when I enrolled to business school, I started trying like all kind of ventures online. Like I came across the concept of dropshipping in like 2016. I saw some guy called, if you know him. I'm actually friends with him now. I speak to him quite some time, but he was a YouTuber very early on. I'm talking about dropshipping. I saw him like 2016. It wasn't like, at first you see that stuff, you don't think a lot of it, you know, you think it's probably a scam or something. And I think a year or so went by, 2017, I tried my first stuff and I was failing. To cut it short a little bit, I was failing for like minimum 1.5 years in dropshipping. or like it was kind of an on and off thing, you know. I tried some, and like in hindsight, it was also because I didn't have a clear strategy. I was trying this concept from this YouTuber, then I jumped to this method, like Instagram influencers, then Facebook this strategy, Facebook that strategy, then organic SEO kind of shit, you know, jumping from places to places, then niche store, like general store, then this kind of product, that kind of product, just jumping from thing to thing. And I don't know, like super important is, especially in dropshipping, is to have like a super clear strategy and just following it through until it works. And I don't know if you like, after one failed product, just change everything. There's no like measure what even worked at all. Like, yeah, you know it failed, but you don't know like why it failed or everything at all. So yeah, so I also tried like affiliate marketing stuff. I saw you have the book of ClickFunnels. I tried to promote ClickFunnels, even like I did the ClickFunnels affiliate like 2017. What else did I do, man? I don't know. I tried everything online, I guess.
So when did it start clicking?
Yeah, started to click for me was early 2019. So basically in March 2019 is when I started basically the biggest, like my, yeah, at the time, like big, like from like mid 2018, I had stores that kind of like broke even. They did like 20K in revenue, but I didn't like make any money. Like it was just like a break even. They made revenue, like I sold products, but like in the end I didn't take home much. And then like I even know it, like I know the whole like even the dates and stuff. On like 11th of March 2019 I launched a product, and like by end of March it did really well. And when I dropped out, which was the same year 2019, around July, I still did my exams in July, which were in July, but I already knew like I'm gonna drop out. And by then I did like 5K profit a day, which was
a day.
Yeah, a day. I was doing like 20K profits, 20K revenue a day, which came out to about like 25% profit margin, which was 5K profit a day.
Damn. So that went from 0 to 100.
That went,
you went from break even to 5K a day real quick.
Yeah, but that was like a different product. Like this specific product that did 5K revenue a day, like it took like 2 to 3 weeks to kind of test around on Facebook, like to test different kind of like ads and stuff. But after that, there was one day I did like $100 in revenue, and next day like I just like doubled the campaigns, and I did like 10 times as much, like I don't know, like 1.5K right away, like super early. And I don't know, ROAS was like 7 to 8. I don't know if that says something to you. ROAS means return on ad spend, so like how much revenue you get back on like how much money you put in advertisement. So I made like 10 ROAS right away. It was like super profitable. And yeah, I mean, this store, like after 3 months it basically died. So it wasn't like something super long term, but it died in August, and I dropped out in like July. But
why did it die? Were you like capitalizing on an event?
No. It died because it's something called ad fatigue. So basically you have a niche or like an audience of people, and if you just scale, like
you burn down your audience. You
just scale horizontally through the whole audience with only one ad. Like I didn't change it. Like I was basically a noob, you know, like I was in e-commerce space for quite some time. Yes, I made it work, but I didn't know about all that stuff, you know, like rotating the ads, like testing other stuff, like scaling like broad, you know, like testing other kinds of audiences, doing like something called lookalikes on Facebook, which like Facebook algorithm takes the data and like finds new purchasers for yourself. Basically, I didn't know about all that stuff, so I scaled it super hard. This store did around like 600K in revenue in like 2 months, and then just died, I guess. But I was like sitting on, I don't know, like 150K profits in like not even 3 months. And for me, like back then I had the mindset, even if I'm able to make like 2K a month profit, I can just go to Bali and live like a good life, you know. I don't know, at least I don't need to be in this fucking university. At least like I can leave. At least I can work on my own stuff. And as you said, you start to build all of these skills, you know, this like, I don't know, like being a good Facebook media buyer is like a super high ticket skill. Like you could even charge as a freelancer, you could charge a lot, or you could start an agency. Like a lot of people that I know that started dropshipping at the same time but kind of failed, turned those skills into like agencies, like copywriting agencies, Facebook agencies, I know website building agencies, whatever, like so many.
Yeah, Shopify guys.
Yeah, even one of my guys, he focuses, like one of my super like OG friends from dropshipping, he now has an agency that just focuses on like fulfillment and like product sourcing from China. So he went to China a couple times, built like his relationships there, and he helps other dropshippers just finding like those super new, unique products before they even like land on these sites where everyone else like sources them from, like Alibaba or whatever.
That's dope. And so how much of this has been you straight line following a method? Are you paying like one specific mentor, like 10K plus a year type shit?
Yeah.
Or are you do you take information from different people, or is it more community driven in terms of knowledge? Or
so at the time, I'm a strong believer to like I'm a strong believer into law of attraction. So I think if you like want something and you follow through like super hard, it will happen for yourself. And I'm the strongest like example of that being real. Like I wanted it to happen so bad, and I risked everything for it. Like as I told you, I dropped out in the same year. I still had exams and stuff, and I basically didn't study for those exams at all. And at the time I was just trying business shit, and like business stuff had such a small like percentage, I guess, like in hindsight, I don't know, chance of actually working. So the chance of like everything failing was probably like 80%. But I was so obsessed with it, just trying, it had to happen. So basically, a law of attraction is real, and if you follow through, it will for sure work. And
well, you didn't give up. You were grinding for like 2 years plus, not making any money, right?
I was grinding, and coming back to your question, I was obsessed. Like I was following every YouTuber. Like I watched every fucking video of every dropshipping YouTuber for like 2 years straight. Like I could tell you everything about everyone, about like the lives of every fucking dropshipping YouTuber from 2 years back. Yeah. Like I know every detail about them. I was in like every group that existed. I tried to connect with everyone in the space, I guess.
Yeah.
And I also tried mentors. Like in October 2018, I actually like just before my success, I hired some, I don't know, dropshipping kid that was like out in LA flexing with cars and stuff, acting like he made it, I guess. Maybe he did, who knows? Basically, he scammed me. So I just paid him like 1K or like 1.5K or something, I guess. And
could be worse.
But after I paid him, like he never replied to me again. And that's also something to mention. Like I didn't have a lot of money. Like at the time that it started working for me, I had like 1K in my bank account. That was all the money I had. Like even when it started working, like this dropshipping, how the cash flow works is you sell a product, then it goes either to PayPal or Stripe. If it goes to Stripe, you have a hold up period of like 7 days, but usually you need to...
It's a cash flow intensive business.
Yeah, if you don't have money, you can run into cash flow issues.
Yeah.
So basically, my cash was like hold up in Stripe and PayPal, but I needed to fulfill the products, and I didn't have like money to fulfill the products. I would needed to wait for them to come out. But basically what I did, like I just lended like money or like borrow money from family and stuff to like fulfill. I just show them, like I have 5x return on my, I have orders. If you just pay me now, I'll pay you back like in a week or whatever.
Like invoice financing.
Yeah, that's what I had to do all the time. And then coming back to your question, as I said, I was just following all those people, but jumping from strategy to strategy which was an issue. And then in March, I started to work with another person, which was kind of like a mentor for me, but also just for like very, very short, around 3 months. But he wasn't even like a crazy expert. Like he wasn't like making crazy money, but he had some clients which found products that worked for them. And out of this, he kind of like streamlined a process. So I think like e-commerce is a super creative creative like business and space, and there's so many things that can work, but you just need to like find something and just follow through with it. And he kind of like had this plan, you know, what kind of products to find, how to test them, and I just...
So this is the guy that finally you found the method.
He was just a guy that presented to me a streamlined process that I would need to follow now. And
is this the, so in which,
he's from the East Coast of United States. I'm not actually in contact with him anymore, but yeah, he was my mentor for like 3 months. As I said, he wasn't like anyone that had like crazy results, but he had clients, and he also had this one Skype group. Like I don't know who even does that anymore. Like a group on Skype.
That's funny.
That's super funny. He had like 30 of his students in, and he like charged everyone like $500 a month for something. And he had like the thing that worked out for me really well is that he had a streamlined process, and like it didn't allow me anymore to jump from this guy's I don't know, method to this guy's method. And he was just doing Facebook. He was just like choosing these kinds of products and these kinds of stores. And I mean, there's, as I said, it's a super creative business model, which is great, but it also, I don't know, adds so much complexity. You can do this and this and that and this, and I don't know, if you don't isolate,
there's a lot of variables.
If you don't isolate the parts, you never know what was the point of failure, I guess. So, but yeah, he had, like, to cut it short, he had a strategy. I tested like 3 products, like super like.
So if I had to guess, you're doing like high ticket products. Definitely over $300, maybe over $1,000 typically.
Nah, that's not correct though. No? I would say most dropshippers do like $20 to $60
products.
Yeah. But this product that worked for me was the price was $99.99, so $100.
Okay, so you're doing $100 products. Yeah. Sourced in the U.S. or sourced abroad?
Sourced in China.
Sourced in China. Okay, so
sourced, stored, and shipped, packaged and shipped from China.
From China. So that's interesting. Like if you know like Johnny FD and the what's the model that he uses? Anton method?
I don't know Johnny FD.
Do you know
no.
Anton method? So they would do high ticket US source products.
I know people that do like I mean, high ticket is a relative word, you know, but
yeah, but let's just say like 500 plus.
I know people that do like just drop shipping even from China, $1,000, even like 3,000.
Yeah.
Like ship like whole like tables and chairs.
Yeah, and I think I don't know how much I can say, but one of the ones you showed me,
we can talk about it.
Was like a helmet. So it was like $100 like fancy biking helmet.
Yeah, cycling helmet.
Yeah. Okay. Dope. Let's bring it back to Latin America. So you know you I guess first discovered maybe other parts of Europe and Asia as a traveler.
Yeah.
You know, you probably discovered, you know, the tropics in Asia and not Latin America probably for your first time.
For sure.
First time you had a banana from the source, a coconut.
Ah, man, we have good bananas in Switzerland.
Yeah, but they were frozen in like on a container.
Probably, yeah.
It doesn't taste the same.
Yeah.
And then so how did you like make your way to Latin America?
Yeah, I forgot what we are here to talk about actually. So
no, it's good because the freedom part like requires making money and is arguably just as famous. And then we frolic. So how'd you get over here? Yeah,
I have tendency to like just like go back like a lot to like bring the whole like circle around.
Full circle
to the story. So basically, I was like super huge in networking and stuff. So when I, even though my store failed, like after 3 months, I built super close, I don't know, relationships like with other drop shippers and e-com guys. And I met those 2 guys from New York, which I came to visit also in July 2019. I was in New York for like 4 weeks straight, and we built like our next brand basically, which worked even better. Like it did 15K profit days. So we're 3 guys, so we're split. You know, it's also not all profit, but like I don't know, like just gross minus I don't know, like like product costs and advertisement. We did like a lot of profits, and yeah, I don't know. It traveled. Okay, you wanna talk only about Latin America? So basically, how I came to Latin America. Like I had never had Latin America even on my radar. I would still say to this day I would probably like I have enjoyed my time in Asia probably more than here. And I mean it's super nice here in Mexico right now. It's like, I don't know, probably the best place for me to be. But like how I got like even attentive to Latin America is just through Panama, where I met you. And like, I don't know, when I met you, it's like my first few days in Latin America. Like I never been to Latin America before that. And I mean, we, like me and you, like you and me, we were there for the same reason. I mean, we were there to like, I don't know, like, so basically I made a whole bunch of money in like different aspects. I wasn't in, like before we met in April 2021, which was like a few months back.
Which was like 8 months ago.
8 months ago. Yeah. Like prior to that moment, I did already like spend most of my like time since 2019. Like since I told you I went to New York, since then I did spend like almost no time in Switzerland at all. But I was still a tax resident in Switzerland. So I had my company in Switzerland. I had my personal taxes in Switzerland, and basically I paid like hefty taxes. Like Switzerland taxes are fine, but if you get like into the highest like caliber of taxes, it's still not fine, you know, it's still like a lot of money. And I guess if you live there, if you enjoy like the infrastructure and stuff, and then it's fine to pay, I guess. I don't have anything against taxes at all, but for me it was just like, I wasn't living there. I wasn't spending any time at all there, and like just, I don't know, like this whole thing came up where you can like, I don't know, like optimize your life, like build your life around places that like are more optimal for your financial situation. And you found
the Staatenlos Facebook group. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but sort of like a German language digital nomad group. Yes. And they get into some of this stuff.
Yeah, so there's actually like, again, man, like all my stuff like have ties back to like when I was like 13 or 14 or whatever. Basically, when I was 14, I started, or like, no, that was actually when I was like 15 or 16. I started going to the gym really heavy. Like from like 16 to 18, nothing, or like till 19, nothing else I had in mind. So like lifting, like powerlifting, like gym, like stuff like that. There was one guy, like a Swiss YouTuber. He was like a fitness YouTuber. And like life YouTuber, and basically was traveling as well, like all around like the world basically. And yeah, so he kind of like left Switzerland as well, and he was in contact with this guy from Staatenlos. In German it's called Staatenlos. Basically Staatenlos, he's what he does, like the guy, what he does, his name is Christoph Heuermann. He's actually here in Playa. I'm meeting him tomorrow, which is funny.
The founder of the Facebook group?
Yeah, the founder of the company Staatenlos, his Facebook group. Okay. He was basically my main advisor for all of those, like, I don't know, moving abroad and like tax optimization. So what he does, basically he helps mainly Germans and Austrians, but also Swiss people to like, I don't know, move abroad or like leave their country to like, not only Panama, but you know, like all places that they want to either move or like are optimal for their specific situation.
Right. Even in Europe, I guess.
Even in Europe, there's great places.
Maybe Bulgaria or something.
And even but even if you don't want to like leave your home country, there's a lot to do in terms of like companies, taxes.
Sure.
Like what a lot of Germans especially do. And they build like foundations in Liechtenstein and stuff. He helps with all kind of like tax and business optimization and stuff like that.
And you're just obsessed with business, and so you enjoy reading about some of this like optimization stuff. Yeah.
So me personally, I'm obsessed with everything basically. If I read about something, I get obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I was with that in school as well. Like every subject, at first it didn't interest me, but then if I read about it, I got obsessed about it, and it made me successful in that subject, which is kind of like a weird trait to have, I guess. But coming back, there was a Swiss YouTuber. He was like 2 years prior to me doing this, but he basically got his residency in Panama. I don't know how to say this in English, but he kind of like resigned from Switzerland. What it's called, I don't know. He left Switzerland.
Yeah. He probably kept his citizenship, but gave up his residency.
Exactly, yeah. Citizenship is not tied to like taxation or where you live. Right.
So he ceased to be a resident of Switzerland. He became a resident of Panama. He started YouTubing in probably like some apartment on the ocean.
He just had this like full-time travel like lifestyle. It wasn't even about that. It was just like about him being a Swiss person, like living in Switzerland, making a bunch of money and not paying taxes on that money. And for me, I don't know, it just came like naturally to like optimize all of those stuff, making a bunch of money and not even like living or like being where I needed to pay tax.
Right. And then also maybe just the other side of the coin is that it's important to diversify and to create bases and sort of diversify your financial interests and your life in general. So was part of it like that mindset, like creating a plan B and creating bases?
Honestly, not too much at the time. Like, yeah, kinda. Like probably when we were in Panama together, then I was already like, I don't know, opened up to this whole space, but not at the beginning. At the beginning it was really like, hey, what do I want to do with like the next few years of my life? I want to travel. I don't want to be in Switzerland, you know. I want to explore different areas of this world, be in different places, and I don't know what's like my specific income and like what I do, what's the best setup to have. And I mean, there's like I think there's like 80 countries in the world where you can either pay like no like tax on foreign income or like no tax at all. So there's like a lot of places you can do that. Like even, you know, like Paraguay, Panama, even Costa Rica, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, all of those places have territorial tax. And then there's places that don't have tax at all, like Dubai or like all of the Gulf states and like Monaco and places like that, I guess. So, but at the time, I don't know, like discussing it with the advisor and stuff, Panama was just at the time a super easy option. You know, it changed. The Friendly Nations visa changed, but
and we got lucky.
Yeah, we kind of got lucky, I guess. I mean, it's still possible, especially if you have money and if you really want to. Now it's just like a more like a commitment to Panama, I guess. If you like say, I really like Panama and I want to be there and I want to have it, then you can still do it. But if you just, like for us, Panama is just more like a back pocket residency, I would say. We just have it. It's a permanent residency. Yeah, we need to be there like one day every 2 years, but we won't lose it if we like don't live there like full time or anything like that. So I don't know, down the line, if we like decide to spend more time in Panama, we have the option to do that. And for me right now, Panama is like my main residency. It's basically the only place that is even my residency at the moment. And it also allowed me, like, if you leave, this is something that's different for every country. Like, it's different in Germany for friends of mine, but in Switzerland, if you wanna, like, I don't know, cancel your residency, you need to give them something else. You need a new residency. Yeah. And also what I needed to do when I was in Panama is bring like a paper, I don't know, like a birth certificate and stuff to the embassy in Panama and kind of like, I don't know,
register.
Yeah, register
as like a citizen abroad.
Exactly. Yeah, that's that.
Okay, and so you did that. I remember. So do you have your cedula now?
I don't have my cedula. No, I got the cedula letter.
Yeah.
But I will go to Panama in March and then I'll get my cedula.
Let's do it, bro. I need my cedula too.
Yeah, cheers. But so this YouTuber guy that I told you about, I don't even think he has his cedula. He just went to like Panama.
How's it possible if he's been there for years?
Yeah, so
he probably has it.
So
there's no downside.
So you know, like Panama prior to like August this year was super easy to just get as like a first option, and then you either have it in your back pocket or you keep it as your main option, or I don't know, if you down the line you find another option, it doesn't matter. Like it was cheap, it's just like 5K commitment and you have it. And like especially for Europeans, I know it's not the same for like American citizens for sure, but like for people that don't have like taxation for citizens, it's like the amount they save in taxes if they don't spend time in their home country compared to like the setup cost is super minimal. But for him, like just for him, like as an example, he spent more time in Panama and in Thailand, and he got his residency in Thailand, and Thailand also has territorial tax.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. they have kind of like a weird territorial tax where you can't bring the money from abroad into the country for like 365 days. Like if like if you earn it today, you need to wait 365 days, and then you can like send it into the country. But if you just go there and like live off savings and stuff, it's not taxed. And if you make the money and have it on a foreign bank account but don't bring it into the country, it's not taxed. But then you can wait 1 year and then you can just transfer it to the country.
And for the Panama like tax residency certificate or the paper they issue, I remember it was like a little bit stringent. It was like you had to spend like 4 or 6 months there for them to like issue it the first time. Did you have to do that?
You mean Panama?
Yeah, in Panama.
You mean for the tax residency?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but so that's something else. Like Switzerland doesn't require you to have tax residency in another country. That's like tax residency is something else than like
permanent residency.
Than like living residency.
Correct,
you know,
correct.
Like I'm not even considered like a taxpayer in Panama. Even if I would not pay income on like my money made from like abroad companies.
Right.
But I'm not even that. Like you can get it like a multiple ways. Either if you buy real estate, you can get it after 2 months, or otherwise you need to live 6 months a year, I think, or just
6 months like the first year.
6 months the first year, then you get it, and you just probably just say.
And then you just cruise on.
Yeah.
I think that stuff would be helpful. I think it is helpful to get that tax certificate.
It is helpful.
Some places are easier than Panama to get that certificate issued.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it's worth highlighting if people don't know what we're talking about, because this never comes up on Nomad Capitalist, or this never comes up on any of the easy residency things. That they never make the distinction between, let's just call it like a living residency and a tax residency.
Yes, yeah.
So becoming a permanent resident or temporary resident of a country does not automatically make you a tax resident of that country. And in every country sort of has different rules as to what it takes to be considered a tax resident in their eyes. And then you need to sort of meet those requirements to then show your home government in a lot of situations. So it's something that's never mentioned, but it's like actually a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Something that I actually know is that Canada specifically requires you to be a tax resident somewhere else to like leave you go like as a tax resident in Canada. And if they
same with Australia,
like even if you like I don't know like go to live somewhere else, it could be that like a few years later they ask you like, hey, where have you been paying taxes, man? Show me your tax certificate from another country. And if you don't have that, they can even like a few years back, like they can say, hey, you owe us taxes.
You don't always need these residency certificates or tax residency certificates. It's only in situations where it's just like, how did you even like arrive in this country? Like I did at one point switch my residency from Canada to the US, and I had a full-time job in the US. Yeah. And so I just kind of like, I guess said I had a job, and then Canada like officially released me like, and it was like literally written like, it was literally like super clear, like you are no longer a tax resident of Canada type shit. Like it was really written like that. I never had to present a certificate, but I was like, yo, I live in the States now.
Yes, but that is different where you go. As an example, if you live in if you're a German citizen, you lived in Germany your whole life. It's different if you go to any country in the EU or if you go to like Panama.
A gray list country.
Yes, yeah. So in Germany, that's thank God doesn't exist in Switzerland, but in Germany they have something called exit tax. So basically, if I would have a business in Germany that is like worth, I don't know, that has some kind of worth, at the time I would kind of like leave Germany. They would like evaluate my company and say, hey, this company is worth $1 million. Since you won't live here anymore, we will lose tax money if you would ever sell this company. So at the moment you will leave this company, they will tax you right away. Like if you basically the company.
This happens on like capital.
Like the value when you leave, the value, I don't know, goes to another country. Like another country will profit from you being there, so they will exit tax you when you leave.
Yeah.
But that's it like every country has their own rules, and it depends where you go. Like Germans have like tricks as well. They can go to Cyprus or like Malta, which is a EU country, and there they don't have exit taxes, so they need to spend like 2 or 3 years there, and then they can like go to Panama, and they like didn't had to pay that specific tax. But it's different like for all. It's different from where you live, what's your citizenship, what's your income, from where is your income, is it a business, is it investments, is it capital gains, is it dividends, is it, I don't know, like salary, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah, it's and that's actually a lot of what we're getting into on My Latin Life, is really going to break this stuff down for every country in Latin America.
Yeah.
And like what country, like the residency are easiest, or blah, 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 the differences.
So just for like Latin America is considered like all Spanish speaking countries in like the Americas, or
pretty much, and Brazil.
Brazil as well.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I just mean literally every country in the Americas, in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but the good thing about all this setup things is not only like personal taxes, like also like companies, or like every country has something really super specific that can be helpful to you if you, I don't know how to utilize it the right way. Or like as an example, in Brazil, I know you can get citizenship super fast, whereas in Panama you would never be able to get citizenship. They say it's in 5 years if you live there for 5 years, but there's never been a case where someone was issued Panama citizenship. So
I did speak to one lady, like an Argentine lady that got it, and you know, it took like 2-3 years to process. But she was just like, you know, I think it's easier for people who actually spend 6 months of the year or more.
No, you need to. You won't get it if you're just like a paper resident.
Yeah. So, and it depends on the country. I mean, I think maybe there are some countries where you could potentially become a citizen being sort of a paper resident.
Yeah,
maybe you spend like a month a year or something.
You can also buy citizenship.
You could just buy it and just save yourself the hassle. 100K, 120K, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, like, some Americans have no other choice if they want to like be completely tax free from their home country, like either Puerto Rico, but then you gotta be 6 months in Puerto Rico.
And you have to like hire people.
Yeah. There's like how do you call it? Like if you need like substance, you need substance in the country. Yeah, like you need to hire an office.
I don't know if it's 4 people or 10 people.
Yeah, like either like Americans, if they like make a lot of money and be like free from their home taxation, is only Puerto Rico, like your capital gains tax free and stuff like that, or you resign your citizenship, which right now it takes, like I know one American, it takes, due to COVID, it takes so long, like
the wait list,
bro, like the embassies are closed and stuff, and like the wait list is so long, so many like rich
wait
people
list to resign.
trying to resign like their citizenship, and then you just buy like a new, like, do you know this like one guy, he preaches that, like this YouTuber what is his name, Nomad capitalist. Yeah. So he was an American as well, and he bought like some Caribbean citizenship. I guess there's like many programs like Kitts and Nevis and Dominica, and I don't know.
So you got set up in Panama, you spent some time there.
Yeah.
And then you eventually made your way to Mexico a couple of months ago, and now you've been in Mexico since like October, so
since early October,
early October, so 4 months.
3.5 months. Yeah, quite some time.
What made you come to Mexico, and how are you liking it so far?
Yeah, so I guess that's another story now. So I was basically like so I was in Germany at the time. I was planning to go travel. I needed to come back to Panama for like the 6 months after like how the friendly nations worked at the time is you needed to come here, do your stuff, and then come back like within 6 months.
And then come back once it's approved.
Come back within like 4 or 5 months, like before 6 months, kind of like.
Yeah.
It had as like a specific time frame you needed to come back.
To go to the immigration office.
And get
after it was approved, to get your photo taken and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So I needed to come back anyway to Panama. Like, I don't know, like if it wasn't for Panama, I would probably not be here. Let's say it that way. I would probably have found another country to go to. I was never like Latin America was never really on my radar, I guess. So, but I went to Panama. I spent some time there. I was in Panama City just for like 1.5 weeks. I went to Bocas, which is like my favorite place in Panama. I discovered the island Bastimentos, which is like 10 times nicer than the main island, in my opinion. Spent like 3 weeks there or so. Then
on Red Frog.
Not only in Red Frog, like there's a couple beaches there, and they're so amazing, and like right next to your hotel or like your luxury bungalow or whatever. And yeah, then I went, like, I don't know, I just traveled without plan, I guess. So for the first few weeks, so I went to Costa Rica, did a road trip there.
You took the bus across the border from Bocas?
Yeah, so boat and then really quick bus. So
to like Puerto Viejo?
Puerto Viejo, exactly. I was just in Puerto Viejo for like 5 days. And then, traveled Costa Rica for like 3.5 weeks. But I kind of like felt the need to find a place where I can stay longer and like build a base a little bit. And I don't know, due to the situation with COVID and lockdowns and everything, there was just... Like obviously there were a few countries, but there was like one country that just stood out, you know, where you could just go, where everyone was, where everything's just like before COVID, no lockdowns and stuff. Yeah. And it was just Mexico, man. And at first I had like Puerto Escondido. I think I even told you that. I told you, hey man, I want to probably go to Puerto Escondido.
Like, man, about that Wi-Fi.
You were like the first person to tell me that, like Wi-Fi in Puerto, probably no go. And then after joined the Facebook group, like every day the questions were, what's with the Wi-Fi? So that didn't like end up working out. And yeah, I don't know. I just like, I was planning to come to Playa for a month, and then, yeah, like, I don't know, like, what would be the main characteristics? If I asked you, what would be the main characteristics about Playa that you like the most right now? Or like, at all? What makes you like stay here?
And so you've been in Playa since October?
No. Yeah, so I spent like 2 months till like end of the year. I spent in Playa. Yeah. Then I went to Tulum for 1.5 weeks. Then we went.
Bosch or something.
No. Then we went super south to Bacalar. For like 4 days, and then I just came straight back to Playa. Got the same crib, same apartment. Like 1 week we had to stay at like some other apartment, but then we got the same apartment back. Yeah. And yeah, now it looks like I'm maxing out my visa till almost like, I don't know, March. And
max the visa, get the full 6 months in.
Full 6 months, yeah. I know you can just stay longer and it's easy, but it's not about that. Like I plan to go back to Panama after that, get my cedula, maybe spend almost a month in Panama is my plan. Mm-hmm. And after Panama, I'll meet some friends probably in the Dominican Republic for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll probably go back to Europe to meet my family and stuff for the summer. And it looks like actually it's like, even if you can't believe it right now, but it looks like it's getting better with COVID and stuff. Like I know in Switzerland they announced like we'll do the Omicron, like everyone had it now, and they probably like won't continue.
It's chill now. Yeah. I think that's actually like a good sort of snowbird strategy is what we call it, where you spend summers at home in, you know,
depends where you're from.
I mean, most people are from just sort of like a rich cold country, and so it makes to spend like the summer there from like May to August or something, and then, you know, fly south for winter, hit Latin America or whatever it is.
I don't know about like US or Canada. I'm not like super, I don't know that countries that well, but like summer in Europe is like one of the most amazing things.
Yeah, it's good.
Like Europe is like Spain, Italy, probably like south of France,
Greek islands.
Greek as well, man. Like everywhere, like even Turkey or like, I don't know, like Croatia or whatever. It's like the most amazing places you can spend like the months of June, July, August, September, even until like late October or something. So I really like Europe. Like it's, but Switzerland specifically, that's also a rule that I can only spend 3 months a year in Switzerland. Like that's also like different in every country, but Switzerland specifically for citizens, it's only 3 months. So after 3 months, I would like not like it's not like 100% necessary, but after like 3 months, I could like be questioned as a like a tax resident. Like you can't like just resign and then spend like a lot of time there, I guess. So
exactly, buy a friggin' house or whatever.
You can probably buy a house, and
no, you gotta keep the ties to a minimal.
I know what you mean, but it might like you can just like build a like I still have my company in Switzerland, you know, so I could still like buy a house or like have a car under the company or whatever. So
it's true.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. It's like also that's something like I was considering like maybe down the line have a base in Europe, and I'm considering maybe in like north of Italy, a part of it, which I really like, because I live in like super south of Switzerland, which is like just half an hour across Italy, like over the border.
To like Como and stuff.
Yeah, like Como is super close, so I like this area, but that's also like that's something I read online on like Wikipedia about international taxation, that Italy taxes people if they have ties to Italy, like citizens, if they have ties to Italy, but their main residency is in like
a tax haven.
A tax haven.
Yeah, I read that too.
Yeah.
So when they know that you have like residency in Panama as an Italian, they're
I mean that's like, something I didn't even tell in the podcast, that I'm an Italian citizen as well. So that's why. But other countries is different, you know, like Germans can spend the full 183 days in Germany.
I think I'm gonna implement a similar strategy potentially in the future, where I'd spend maybe summers in Canada where everyone's happy, the weather's good.
Yeah, winter everyone's depressed and shit. Yeah, you just leave.
And then you know, typically traditionally Canadians have always done that. Like for our parents and grandparents, they'd have a place in Florida, in like Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd be on the other side in Arizona or in Southern California.
Yeah.
But typically, a lot of like rich Canadians had a place in Florida back in the day, and I guess now as digital nomads, and just how the world's getting smaller and Wi-Fi's getting better, we're feeling better going a bit further afield, and actually instead of, you know, if you're taking a flight anyway, like. Mexico's no further than, it's the same distance Florida is the same distance of Mexico, so
bro,
we'll go to Mexico.
I mean, for me it's like a different thing, but I guess like the same thing that is for Germans, like Mallorca in Spain, is like for Americans, or like especially East Coast Americans, is like, I don't know, Tulum or like Cancun or
I mean, there's spots. I mean, it's Colombia. I mean, there's a lot of spots on sort of like the.
I mean, for me, like, I don't know, Mexico is a 12-hour flight, you know, it's not the same.
Exactly.
But for me, places like Barcelona is like a 45-minute flight.
Exactly.
So it's just, I don't know, perspectives and where you're from, I guess.
I think we are...
I wanted to ask you about Playa, though.
Yeah.
So, like, are you here mainly for the expats and, like, the community, or I don't know, are you here for, like, Mexico and the country itself, or... So, I don't know, what made you stay here? Because you seem like someone that truly wants to stay here, like, for years to come.
I do look like I'm someone who wants to stay here?
Yeah. Or you are someone.
I do look like... Okay.
No, well, I may not look like, but from what you're saying to me, it seems like you would want to.
Well, it's funny because I'm like super itchy to travel.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say was I think we're actually rewarded by going a bit further than most people are willing to go.
Yeah.
I think that's been your experience, where, you know, most people will do maybe some sort of European thing, but like with Gibraltar or some shit, Cyprus.
Yeah.
But you actually maybe get rewarded for going further afield, and I think for us too. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of opportunity in Mexico, but there's also like a lot of gringos and tourists and stuff, and I think for a lot of people. They should also experience something more local.
Yeah.
And because there's actually a lot of reward and like novelty value and everything in getting sort of exposed to, you know, more locals. Like, so I'm like, go to Brazil. You know, that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
But why Playa? Like for Playa, it's like I think it's just a really, really good balance where, you know, obviously. It's very easy in terms of entry restrictions, It's very close to North
but like
America.
entry restriction is something that changes like every 2 weeks.
Well, not in Mexico, but
not in Mexico.
I think that's not as important because this place was booming even before COVID. Yeah. So I think the reason Cancun is booming is because it does have a lot of flight connections. It's a really good airport for flight connections. A lot of cheap flights. It is a pretty lax visa policy, like the 180 days that at least they used to honor. Is like it's like very generous. It's cheaper than obviously the U.S. and Canada. The English levels in Mexico are really high. Probably some of the highest in the Americas are Panama and Mexico. So, it's a little bit more familiar. It's got Walmart and, Sephora and like big box stores and stuff like that, H&M.
All right.
You know what I mean? So it feels more familiar. Yeah. But Playa and the Mayan Riviera also have some like unique competitive advantages, meaning like there's the cenotes, which basically only exist here, which is a pretty unique, cool thing.
Yeah.
There's Mayan ruins all over the place. I mean, there's not a lot of places that have this level of like ruins and archaeological sites.
Yeah.
There's basically nowhere else in the Americas that has like archaeological sites except for like southern Mexico, with only like a couple of exceptions.
Yeah, I mean, but these are touristy things. Like, do you really like care about them if you're like a long term I mean, it's nice to see them once, but are you gonna go there like every month or like every few weeks?
Well, there's so many. There's like 500 of these sites.
Cenotes, yeah. Ah, you mean like
the sites too?
Archaeological sites.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot I haven't even been to.
But they all look the same. Like no fronts. I like it too, but it's just all like stones on top of each other, like falling apart.
Sure, but I think taking it a step further, I think the Mayan culture is like really cool. And it was one of the most advanced cultures like ever. And it's just like a cool like vibe and mystique, and there's ceremonies and
I agree, but I wouldn't like go to Greece or something because like the old philosophers were like I would go to Athens to see it once, but I'm not gonna go to fucking Santorini because
it's not just I think the intellectual element is definitely there.
Yeah.
But it's a physical element too. I mean, like, have you done like a temazcal ceremony, which is sort of like a traditional Mayan ceremony where it's like a sauna. It's like a traditional Mayan sauna, and they like blow smoke on you and stuff like that.
I haven't.
So that's like
I agree with you. Like Mexico is definitely one, especially in Latin America, like the most culturally rich probably country.
Dude, it's culturally rich.
Yeah.
AF. Yeah. Mexico. Every state in Mexico has it's a typical dance and typical music.
That's also what I told some friends of mine is that when I went to Mexico is that it's like the most rich in culture and like foods, like Mexican foods, like beside like Italian or like Japanese or like Thai or something. Yeah. It's like one of the most famous cuisines in the world for a reason, and it's so rich with different stuff, especially if you like super hot food, like spicy.
And it's so cheap.
I think like Playa is not so cheap, but you can find the places.
No, but I mean specifically for food. Like the fruits and vegetables are so good. Like the avocados that you can get here are so cheap and so good.
Yeah.
And all the other fruit is just like unreal. Like it's like the best mango. I have mangoes in the fridge right now. They're the best mangoes you've ever had in your life.
I agree.
You know what I mean? The fruit is just next level, and it's so cheap. It's so cheap. It's insane.
I agree, but then again, you can go to Fifth Avenue and then spend like a few $100s on like a steak and stuff.
Yes, you can go to the most expensive street in Mexico and spend money.
Yeah, but this is Playa, man. Playa not so much, but especially like Tulum, most people that go there are there for a week and they're ready to spend money on this just one week.
Tulum is expensive.
They don't stay there. Also Playa, man. Like I don't think like most people spend here, live here like for a few months. They just come here for like 2 weeks, spend a bunch of money and fly back.
I think it's a mix. I think it's actually a good mix of both.
Yeah.
I think it is good to have some tourists and get like some flow. But there's a lot of like medium-term residents, people who do a month or two, more and more. I mean, I first came here in 2018, and a lot of the people I met are still here.
How much you pay for this apartment?
This apartment, this is a 2-week rental that I got on Facebook, and I got a good deal. I'm paying 650 Canadian for 2 weeks, which is like 500 US.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't have a lot of space, but
the place I was paying before, which was during Christmas and New Year's and stuff, it was $2,000 US, 40,000 pesos, and the balcony was like bigger than this entire apartment, and it was like a 2-bedroom place, and it was dope.
Yeah.
And that was through a broker. I mean, Playa's gotten more expensive, no question about it. I mean, it was a lot cheaper before the pandemic. And then once it became like the only place that was open, like the population of the city like doubled or tripled.
Yeah. I think like Cancun was in 2021. It was like the second most flown in city.
Yeah.
And like before that, it was like place 30 or something. Like before the pandemic.
It was like barely in the top 10. Yeah. And now it's insane. Like the top city for international arrivals.
Yes, insane.
I think one strategy some people could do is they could look for like the hardest country to get into, and then get in, and then be like the only guy. And be like, yo, I'm killing it.
I mean, it depends what you value, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I'm all for like going backpacking in random places, but for me right now, I'm also trying to work. First of all, I'm carrying like a bunch of expensive equipment. I'm carrying all my like crypto devices and stuff like that. I wouldn't like, I don't know, like we actually thought about like going down south to like borders Guatemala, and then even maybe through Venezuela, even to Nicaragua, like going the whole way down to Costa Rica.
Panama.
Yeah, even
Playa to Panama.
Yeah, man.
Dude, let's do it. Playa to Panama.
It's possible to do it. Like people do it online, and I don't know. It's not even. People obviously these places have sketchy areas, but if you just go through and like stick to the cities and drive in the night and stuff, it's not like you're gonna get shot like in an open day or something like that. It's the same thing you hear about like Cancun or Playa.
It's doable. I'd be a bit worried about the Wi-Fi situation and like in some.
Nah, I thought more like just taking 3-4 days off and going straight through, you know.
No. Dude, it's like 6 countries. It's gonna take a while. Fly to Panama.
It's not that hard, bro. You can go straight to like San Cristobal or something. That's in Mexico.
Yeah, in Chiapas. Yeah.
And then you can go down to Guatemala.
Yeah.
And then from Guatemala you can enter El Salvador.
Yeah.
And from El Salvador you can actually take a boat directly to Nicaragua. So you skip Venezuela, which is the most sketchy country.
Not Venezuela. You mean Honduras?
Honduras. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, Honduras.
Yeah.
You skip Honduras. Directly Nicaragua. Nicaragua has a couple nice places you can stay.
Yeah, like Antigua or something.
No, Antigua is
That's
in Guatemala.
I'm thinking of...
There's this place called San Juan del Sur.
There's Grenada. Grenada is what I'm thinking.
Grenada too, and this one island on the sea is like Ompete or something.
Yeah, I've been considering that one.
Nah, I'm just like, I'm not like, not that I would do it right now. I'm just like, I'm all for this backpacking, but with all like, with work and the equipment I'm carrying and stuff like that. I wouldn't do it right now. And I also like, since I left Switzerland, there wasn't even like so much time going by, and I'm still it didn't went by so much time, and I still have my company in Switzerland. I'm still right now doing like the last tax stuff for like the last year and stuff. So I'm still carrying like a lot of documents and like one bag of like receipts and shit, so which I will hopefully need for the last time. But I don't know, like I would love to, and I have a huge suitcase which is like super super not good for like backpacking. Mm-hmm. I would love to go backpacking, but more like how I used to in the old days, but more if I have a base here and take 2 weeks off, and then I don't know, go backpacking and then come back and leave my stuff here and not like carry everything.
I think it's good to focus on the grind for certain periods of time, and
yeah,
I think that's one of the good things about Latin America is you can just post up, pretty cheap rent, good Wi-Fi, just chill. You can get everything done for you. You can get a maid or a cleaner, whatever, like super
but you
cheap,
can get that in a lot of places in the world, I guess. Like Asia is even cheaper, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's probably the other place that's doable.
Yeah. Like I know a lot of people also, like that's another discussion, but I know a lot of people that like are super like crazy travelers that like visit like 40 countries a year and like are in each place for like a few weeks and then they just go to the next place. And like I don't know. I think I used to think that I like this, or like the idea of it sounds great, but in like in
it's
practice,
better an idea than in practice.
Yeah, in practice.
And you're running a pretty big business at this point. You know? Like,
yes.
If you don't respond for like a day to shit, like,
yeah,
it's not
I mean, I can take time off and like it's fine, but I don't even want to, man. I'm like in the best period to grind in my life, probably. I think so. I want to be retired by 30, bro. I don't know what your goals are, but that's one of my goals for sure. And I like, even right now, I like what I live for is a lot of like just crypto investments. And this is stuff that I'm only able to do because I have money and because I have a cash flow business. And I definitely, I don't know, man. When I definitely want kids and stuff. And when I have kids, I don't want to be like, I don't know, have this like, only focus on work and stuff, you know.
I feel like I want to grind when I have kids because I'll have nothing to do but just like sit at home and just like semi watch them, semi work.
I agree, bro. I agree, but it's not only like the time the work takes, it's like a lot of focus and a lot of time you get like super stressed out and you like have to I don't know, like when I have like for my girlfriend as an example, if I'm worried and just like super focused, I can't like take any noises and stuff, or like when she talks to me I'm just like so focused and locked in, I guess. But yeah, coming back to what you said, for me it's definitely like I take a few months a year where I'm like super focused, like some people call it monk mode, where you basically where you're just locked in. You have like a specific protocol which you do each day, which is routine. You go to the gym. Then you, I don't know, have like work blocks for a few hours a day, and I don't know, you cut out all unnecessary stuff that takes away your focus.
So I do want to ask you a bit about crypto, and we'll start like wrapping up kind of, but sure. I also want to ask you if you were, because we've talked a little bit about offline about you were thinking of potentially doing more bases as well. Than Panama. Is that something that you're still looking into?
Yes, for sure. Since, like, I know this like is against the title of this podcast, but I'm like not.
If you say Asia, I'll smack you. No, it's cool. I'm joking.
I'm not like the hugest fan still of like Latin America, and this is not because I don't like it, man. I spent 6 months here. I like Panama a lot. I love the islands in Panama. Panama is probably the best beaches I've ever seen in my life. Like even nicer than somewhere in Thailand or I don't know where.
Wow. Okay.
Like I really enjoyed my time there. I also like Mexico right now a lot. Like it's a great base. Why I like Playa is because I don't know, it like gives you everything. It has like malls and stuff. It has beach like not so far, especially if you're like locked in on working. Like in Tulum you need to like go half an hour to the beach. But here it's super chill but yeah, like since I'm not that person that like want to fly around the world all the time, I want to have like fixed bases and not too many. Maybe I'm thinking like 3 to 4 bases that I want to like spend my time in. Like maybe have a few more years, like 3-4 more years where I just like travel around without owning like apartments and stuff, or like without owning I don't know, land and really build the bases. But down the line, I want to definitely settle, I guess. Like, not settle on one place, but like have specific locations where I spend my time. Like, as like 3 to 4 places. And right now, it's looking that it's probably not in Latin America. Like, I even though I'm not paying taxes in Switzerland, I left because of that reason. I still like Switzerland. I still like Europe. And Europe is definitely an amazing place and definitely one of my bases. And if I'm considering right now Asia, where I spent a lot of time, and Latin America, I would definitely choose Asia for myself. I don't know, I'll just like the people here are super nice, but they're also like super lazy and everything. Like Latin America just has like this siesta culture, like Spanish culture, where they're lazy and I don't know, it's not like this. You don't feel like in Asia people are more like hustlers, I think. Like they more try to make things work, and it's more like, I don't know, stuff works more, and service is higher in my opinion. Like if you go to like here, sometimes service is super bad. Like I don't know, cleaning lady doesn't clean so amazingly, and I don't know, even like in restaurants or hotels where we would like expect like high quality service. I think it isn't like that high. Also in Panama, man, like in Bocas, like I don't know, like in front of one touristic place, like those benches are broken. Like I went there twice and bench, like after 8 months, bench was still broken, and they sit on the broken bench. They sit on it every day, but instead of like just repairing it, which takes like 20 minutes, they just like sit on the broken bench, I guess. So I don't know, it's just like cultural thing. And I also think like in Asia I get more for money. Like I could get like secret places, secret apartments. Also Asia is like way safer. I mean, it feels safe here, but it's also like on the street it's like 1,000 military guys everywhere. And Asia has like as low as of a crime rate as like Switzerland, and it's crazy. Like Indonesia, which is probably has even like way more people below poverty than here, but they have like zero crime rate. Like there's no people killing each other.
There's definitely a lot lower crime. It's definitely cheaper.
Yeah, I feel safer there. It's cheaper.
Do you ever just feel like an alien though? Like everyone, like, you know,
not
you
really.
Look so different than people.
That's actually what's not in Playa, but more. Not me, man. Like I'm brown. My name is Ramon, which is a Spanish Latin name. So people more like expect me to speak Spanish and don't look twice. But with my girlfriend, which is completely blonde, a German girl, like blonde eyebrows, blonde, I don't know, everything, just white as fuck, and just blonde, long hair, man. She definitely, like, especially in Panama City, man, it was crazy. Like everyone looks at her like she's an alien, and I haven't seen any other blonde girl in Panama City, bro.
Yeah, you also go to northern Mexico.
Tijuana.
Shit like that. Monterrey.
Okay, I don't actually know too many places in Mexico, but yeah, I don't know. Like, if I would need to say you right now where I want to build my bases, it would be probably in like Northern Europe, maybe Italy, if that's possible. Like the tax situation, or like other places in Europe, like is maybe south of Spain, like near Marbella or something, or like Portugal, super in the south, Lisbon. Yeah. These are like,
Canary Islands.
Yeah, maybe not even. I don't like them too much. But these would be my best place in Europe, and then maybe in Asia would be probably Thailand. Like I like Bali a lot. Bali, you can build like a super amazing villa for like super cheap, like in comparison cheap, like for like a few $100,000. You can build like a place that would be a few million in like LA or whatever, you know, for like the same quality standards. That's also something that I don't like about here, like the quality standards. If they build something, like the most buildings or like most stuff that they, like the coppers and stuff, they're just like broken, or like the electricity doesn't work sometimes. I don't know, I just feel like there's not like this love of detail, and people just don't care, like the mentality here that I feel often, which doesn't exist in Asia. They just, I don't know, they focus on those details, and they, I don't know, just like more eye to the attention as well. But yeah, probably like I like Bali, but the resident, like they just introduced a new like a new
digital nomad visa,
new visa actually, which allows you to be tax-free for 4 years, which is kind of nice. But then again, after 4 years, if you like have your life there, then all of a sudden they demand you to pay taxes. I'm not sure about that, but like naturally, a place that has like the most amazing visa in the world is Thailand. They have something called the Thai Elite Visa, where you can basically just pay to live there. So if I tell you how much it costs, it would sound like expensive to you.
$20,000, I think.
I think it's like it's $16,000 for 5 years, but then if you pay like for 20 years, it's like, I don't know, like $40,000 or something. So
is it even considered a residency, or is it still just like an extended tourist visa?
It's definitely not considered a tourist visa. It's basically. I mean, what's the
difference between a business visa and a residency? I don't know.
What does residency even mean? It just says, hey man, this person is allowed to spend like time here with no questions asked, I guess. But so yeah, if you like break it down, the price per month, it comes down to like, I don't know, $100 or $200. It's not like, you know.
Gotcha. So you're going to be spread out a bit. Europe base, Asia base.
Yes, and
Asia makes sense. It's
Yeah.
good that it's easier for you probably with time zones than it is for me. Maybe it's a limiting belief I have, but I
Yeah.
feel like
okay.
this time zone.
The thing
Works
is,
for
like,
me.
that's also a thing why it was hard to schedule with me, is because I don't like adhere to any schedule. Like, I don't have any calls. I don't call with anyone. I don't have like fixed time with anyone. So it does, like, time zones don't like matter to me at all. Like, I don't talk to anyone in Europe or something. Like, I talk to my family, but I don't know. It doesn't matter.
You don't do any work over the phone?
I do sometimes, but it's more like, I'm just awake now. Are you awake now? Let's call now, because the thing is, I am the one that says when it's time to call. It's no one that tells me, hey man, you need to call tomorrow at 9, you know? I'm more like, I have workers and stuff, I have employees, but it's like workflows they have. Like, they report themselves what they do, and like there's also, like, as an example, I would have like a web store. There's like a project manager that like oversights everyone, like has an oversight over everyone that works on the store and reports to me. And I feel like most calls today are a waste of time. It's just like fluff talk. Like, I don't know if you want to like the information, bro. What information can you not like?
More just as faster.
Bro, we have Slack. We have like a bunch of channels in Slack, bro. You can send voice messages. I don't know, it's just more detailed. After a call, like you say like 5 things, like you forgot already like 4 things. It's nowhere written down or anything.
I feel you. So you just do everything by written communication and maybe a couple voice messages.
I send a lot of voice messages, like just short, like information driven. I have sometimes I have calls, but it's not on a regular basis. Like I just, it's more like, hey, I say, hey, okay, let's call in a few hours, or like, let's call tomorrow. But that's not a lot, because it's only if I take on specific projects. It's not for my own projects, but as an example, a friend of mine has quite a big clothing brand in Switzerland, like a streetwear brand. And I started, like, he asked me, like, I don't even do client work because I don't like it. Like, a lot of my friends do agency work on the side where they like run ads for someone and stuff like that. But I just don't like the responsibility aspect of it, like where I'm like even responsible for someone else's results, or like where I need to be, I don't know, how do you say that? Like where I need
people
to
can like demand your attention.
People can demand my attention, and where I am like responsible for someone else's results. I rather like building my own stuff. I like working my own stuff. I like putting in the focus and energy.
You've done
into
partnerships no?
I've done partnerships, but it was still like where I owned like minimum like 50% equity. It's not like I did something where I like had like 2% equity or something like that.
Of course.
Or like someone else would be like the sole owner. So yeah, like, as an example, I'm working with them, doing the marketing for them, growth for them, but that's like something that's not like not what I'm working on usually. Yeah.
Makes sense. Let me ask you just like another quick question about Panama. So I guess you do want to have your bases kind of elsewhere, but Panama is by de facto one of your bases. How would you look to, or like, what's like maybe your plan with Panama? Are you looking to strengthen your ties at all? Maybe like a couple of years, like, do you want to get like a driver's license as well? Do you want to eventually maybe buy a house just to help strengthen the tie? Maybe like an apartment that you can rent out or something. Do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and I'm super open to all of that stuff. Like, I haven't made like any clear decisions yet, and I'm often like, there's this one channel on YouTube like Panama Equity or something. Okay. I'm just like looking at what's available for like, I don't know, to buy all the time, and I'm like super interested in all this like real estate in many places. For sure. And
get a big farm.
Yeah, man, like farm in Paraguay, bro.
Yeah,
that's interesting to me too. But yeah, I'm not even sure like about the future with Panama. Panama is definitely like my main residency for now, and I don't know, like everything that you do in life serves its purpose, I guess. And even if Panama would only be my residency for like 2 or 3 years, and then I found another option for me to do, or like main thing to do, it wouldn't be like that I would regret it, or just I think I wouldn't even like let it go to that way where my residency would like be, I don't know, like expired.
Yeah,
I would still like keep
keep
it active in even if just like as a back pocket option. You never know, man. Now we have the pandemic. No, it isn't like,
dude, it's gonna get way harder.
Bro, this pandemic isn't even something crazy, but it shows what could be possible. You know, if something really serious would come, you could only go wherever you were like a resident from. I don't know, you just want like a couple options, man. I don't know, like I have 2 citizenships. I would even consider like buying a third one if I just had like the cash sitting around and wouldn't care, I guess.
Right. If it's a small percentage of your net worth. Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean,
like I feel like every single dude with 20 mil should buy one of those 100K
20 mil
passports.
for sure. Yeah.
I think you should do the Paraguay one, man. It's so cheap. It's like no downside.
Yeah. So coming back to all we talked about is basically between Europe and Asia is this main place, UAE, Dubai, which where I can get a residency.
Yeah.
Fairly simple. It's also like 5 to 10K investment, has like some like returning costs every year, which is like 4 or 5K or like 3 to 4 or 5K.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's for the company, but
maintaining the company.
But there's something else about Dubai, which is that the company is actually useful. So it's not like the Panama company that's like completely useless and you can't get any like bank or residency and it's in every blacklist of the world. That's not the case in Dubai. So Dubai companies are actually useful. You can get super great bank accounts for them. They're like actually like Panama is one of the only countries that is on like the banking blacklist, which is like which sucks for Panama. Like I know people that got all of their bank accounts canceled when they like told the bank that my residency is now Panama, because Panama is like on a blacklist since like 2019. That's things that change like all the time.
Papers.
That's something that changes all the time. So in a few years, like the outlook on Panama could be like completely different, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I like Dubai. A lot of my friends did the residency there. Like most of them, like Germans, like Europeans, dropshipper guys. I don't know, just online guys, crypto guys. It's super crypto friendly. They're super open to business.
Yeah.
There's 0% company tax, 0% personal income tax, 0% capital gains tax. Basically, they have no tax at all, beside some like value-added tax on like stuff you buy, which like every country has. Consumption, which only exists since like 2019. So they just like put it like it's a new tax. But that doesn't even matter to me. Like, I don't know if I will spend time there or not. I'll just get probably Dubai residency this year. Also, the decision back in 2020 why I chose Panama over Dubai was because you had like, I knew I wanted to travel, and in Panama you only need to be there 1 day every 2 years to maintain the residency. In Dubai it was always every 6 months. Ooh. You needed to be there, so it was kind of like a higher commitment. So like Dubai is the most flown to like transit airport in the world. Yep. So if you like transit through like Europe and Asia, it's highly likely that you either go through Qatar or like Dubai. So it's pretty easy actually. But if you like want to travel all around and like spend, let's say you are in, I don't know where, Australia, and all of a sudden you decide, hey, I want to be here. Like Australia is a super bad example because no one can even go there right now. But let's say you're on some island and you decide, hey, I want to be here now for 7 months, and then you would lose your Dubai residency. It would be kind of dumb. But now, since they have a brand new visa, which is an investor visa, it doesn't have like super high requirements. It's super simple, like similar requirements. But now you need to be there only every 1 year, so every 365 days, which for me is fine to make.
Is that doable?
Yeah, that's definitely doable. And for me, it's also, I know a lot of people in Dubai now. Like even though I actually never been to Dubai, I have quite a big network there. Like most people I talk to in business are living in Dubai now. Like Dubai has a 95% expat rate. So like people that live there are not from Dubai. Dubai right now is what LA used to be like 20 years back, where everyone wanted to go to make it, you know? Like people with a dream, they just went there, and like the land, American dream, everything's possible in LA, you know? That's what Dubai is now, I feel like, especially for like Europeans and stuff. They go there, and I don't know, man, in like places like Germany, Switzerland, whatever, like if you're a young entrepreneur, it's so hard, man. So much bureaucracy, so much, I know, stones in your way, so much taxes, so much pay for this, pay for that. I don't know, like nothing's possible. Banks are not even like crypto friendly. I don't know, like everyone's suspect of what you're doing. And Dubai is like completely different. Like they're super open. You can do whatever you want. It's just like land of opportunities, and it's no taxes, man. You know what? No taxes. That's like the insanest like advantage over your competitors that you can get. Imagine if you grow like by 20% a year. Imagine how much you can like draw the graphs. How much faster you grow if there is no like cut by like 30% every year. Like in Germany, bro. In Germany,
very good point. That's an extremely not talked about point.
Bro, in Germany they take away like 70% of your money. Like there's taxes on you pay taxes on the money you make. Like then there's value added tax on the sales. There's like tax on what you pay yourself from the from the company, like your income tax. And then you pay like social fees for like whatever, like it's Switzerland, the social fees for like, I don't know, insurance and like, how do you say, like when you get old to have like a fund, like when you get old to have like a fund where you get paid out of, I don't know what, pension. Yeah. Like these fees are almost as high as the taxes itself. So it's like double. Mm-hmm. And in Germany, the highest tax rate is like 45, almost 50%. And if you make serious money, you're gonna land there. And in Germany, it's like you land there super fast. Switzerland is fine, I guess. But yeah, still, man, taxes are a lot. And
I've definitely noticed I've seen the graphs from like a personal wealth perspective, where it's like how much your wealth would have multiplied more if your tax rate was zero. Yeah. Just like year over year, if you took that money and like invested it in mutual funds and stuff like that, and it's like insanely exponential. I almost didn't even think of the consequences for a business, because those are wide-ranging consequences. When if your competitor is paying zero, and you're paying, you can just pay 45%,
bro, you can literally pay 50% more to acquire a customer than they can. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's like the question for like an online e-commerce business is basically how much can I spend to acquire a customer? And if I'm your competitor, then it's basically comes down who can spend more to acquire a customer and still be break even at some point, you know. And if you pay like taxes, even in like, I don't know, if you live in LA or New York and pay like 50% tax or whatever, or even like 35%. It's different words, man. It's different words.
Do you do all physical products, or do you do some like digital products, coaching, mentorship type stuff?
Yeah, I do mainly just physical products. I did some of all of that you just said. Like I did some consulting and some mentorship, but it's more like I didn't do a lot of it, just to some Swiss guys that like contacted me like personally and said, hey, I saw you in contact with this and that guy from the US, and you're probably doing big numbers, and I'm studying right now. Like people in the same situation as I were, and I helped them out like on more like personal level. It's not that I would like go online and would say, hey man, I do mentorship.
Where is like your biggest online presence? I feel like you're pretty dispersed, because you don't have like a big public facing presence, but you're just really. Like you're just running around all these forums or something, or like.
Yeah, now that what I told you about like the forums and stuff is what I did to learn and like get into the space at the start. Yeah. For me right now, like as you said, I had this like Instagram RG, which we can maybe still talk about. But
that was like pretty, like it was only like 500 followers.
Nah,
like, do you have like some big Twitter that we don't know about, or like how are these people even like getting in touch with you?
Yeah, no, on Instagram I had like 1,500 followers. Yeah. And this was like super niche following. So only people, like even though I had like not so many followers, like the big guys that have a lot of followers, they still follow me, and I'm still in contact with them. And like one guy from Germany that has like a lot of followers and is like the main brand building guy. I built a brand with him, you know. I was the guy that built his brand, and he follows me, and some people know that. And I don't know, it's not for me. I never like attacked, or like no, I never planned to like build a huge personal brand. That's the thing. So I never like tried. I know personal brands are value, and it's like often it's super easy to make money out of a personal brand for like courses or coaching or like I don't know, monthly fees for a Discord group or what the fuck. Stuff like that is super easy, especially if you actually know what you're doing and like people want to learn. And I know I don't know,
you did the in the shadows approach, and are you now like in Telegram and Discord mostly and stuff like that, or Reddit?
I just talk to like specific, like my circle I would say is super tight, so I talk to specific people. I always talk about I talk to people that actually know what they're doing in this space.
It's like a mastermind.
Yeah, kind of like we have some discords where like we only allow like where we only allow people that we actually know that are doing numbers. Like bro, like dropshipping is super. Like all online marketing is super toxic space. I feel like I don't know. It's a lot of beef and like a lot of people that just like talk. It's like mostly it's just talk, and like. Most people, like I was never the guy to sell knowledge, you know, and like most people that sell knowledge, they don't like have achieved it themselves, in my opinion. Like obviously there are guys, but most of them haven't, because like running a business takes a lot of time too. And
yeah, it's like you can sell knowledge or you can sell like an actual thing.
Like selling knowledge often is a super easy way to make money, and it's a super easy cash grab as well. Like not even talking like launching a course, but I know one guy.
0%, you know, marginal.
Yeah. I know one guy. He was I don't talk about to him anymore, but he was a good friend of mine in dropshipping space, and he kind of like had a super small YouTube, like just like 5K or like 7K following, but like super niche following, just like all dropshippers. And he had one store that made like a few $100,000 revenue or something, and he launched a paid Facebook group, and the group was $30 a month, and I think he made, I don't know, like 300K or so in like 2 or 3 months, because he had like 10,000 signups or something. I don't know. He said, I'm gonna share like winning products there. So basically he said, I'm gonna give you the products to sell, and everyone signed up. And like $30 is not a lot of money to like each individual, but if like a lot of people sign up, it's gonna add up so high. And this is like recurring revenue. People pay, like it's like super easy to make money, I think. Like super, like especially if you, I don't know, man, it's like it's a easy cash grab probably, but in the long term, if you build a serious brand or something, brand is just an example, like an e-commerce brand, the most money comes only with like an exit, you know. If you make like an exit, you make like 10 times more profit than you made from like profit over the years. And
so are you like building up stores and selling them? And then my other question would be, like nowadays, how much of your time are you spending on e-commerce / dropshipping versus on crypto or other totally different things?
It's a good question. It depends, I guess. Like it changes all the time. I have just one store that I'm mainly working on since like half a year that works really well, that I try to like grow into a more long-term brand. It's always a transition. Like dropshipping is a great model to start out, and I would still encourage everyone to that. Even like I mean in my opinion it's a dumb way to say like I have this product, I want to build a brand, I invest all this money, all this time in like branding, in the most amazing website, I import it to the United States, I have 1-day shipping, I spent like 30 grand on all this stuff. For me it's just like proof of concept, have like the most minimal viable product, you say in marketing, I guess, and just try and like get traction, and if it works you just start building it out, you start like, I don't know, making it more serious. So that's what I'm doing right now with one main brand. Then actually the brand we talked about with the cycling helmet still runs. That's another example for like one product that died in 3 months, but It's also probably because I wasn't the most experienced people, but in dropshipping it's also a lot of people are chasing trends and something breaks, and it just constantly tests new products. And yeah, cycling helmet works since 2.5 years as an example, something super long term. It's not like crazy amounts, but that's something I have kind of like an autopilot. I don't like even touch it. It's also seasonal, so it's mostly, I sell it mostly in the US. So when it's like spring in the US, people go outside again and they drive bicycle, and they're like, I don't know, looking forward to that stuff again, and they like to spend money on it. And it's also like you need a new helmet every 5 years, so it's not like every year new customers open up, because a helmet usually lasts for 5 years.
Oh, they lost it.
Yeah. So maybe you bought that new helmet last year, but then in like 3 years you need a new one or whatever, something like that. And yeah, currently I actually spend most of my time truly on crypto, like just researching, investing, mostly investing, a little bit trading, also NFTs. Yeah, I don't know, growing my knowledge there, growing my connections there. I feel like it's the biggest space of opportunity right now, in my opinion. It's like internet 1989, just with like a factor more in growth.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know, I'm looking to get into more projects myself, especially in DeFi. That's what interests me, is decentralized finance. Also NFT is interesting. I know a couple guys that launched their own NFT projects, and I don't know how long this stuff lasts, but right now it's like a gold mine, you know. Sometimes for investors, if you know what you're doing, but especially for builders, you know, if you like build your own stuff, if you like integrate into communities, and if you build on top of communities, I feel like, yeah, stuff is, I also feel like it's not going away, like it's not like just here for a few months, but right now it's definitely like Wild West, you know. It's crazy.
Agreed, man. Yeah, I definitely want to do more in that space as well. Yeah, I think we can pretty much wrap up. We've definitely gone a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there anything that you wanted to shout out or promote?
Not really. Like what I told about my Instagram is that it's banned right now. So the thing about Instagram and these OG names is like it's a super.
People want to take it from you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, how do you say, it's a corrupt game, you know. People pay for those Instagram names. They're like highly valuable. People trade them, and Instagram cracks down on that stuff. They just like, there's one forum called the OG Users, which is like where people trade usernames and like buy and sell like services, like band services and like stuff like that. And yeah, Instagram banned like 750 names last year in just like 2 days or so, like a crackdown on those names. And thing is, it's probably that someone paid, like someone internally at Instagram, to get my name down, because I got it disabled already 2 times last year, but I got it back through my guy. Like, I'm a huge spender on Facebook. Like, I spend 7 figures on Facebook marketing, and you get like a media panel,
yeah,
where you like
you get a rep.
Yeah, you have a rep where you can talk to, and you can get stuff like that back pretty easily. But now it's, I don't know, I tried many reps, I tried guys that have connections, and I haven't been able to get it back in a few weeks now, like almost a month. And it seems like someone else had a rep too, and they try to get your name, man. Like, out of those 2 letter names, there's not a lot left, and they have like kind of like value, like they have a lot of value. Like, thing is, I also bought mine like two or 3 years back, which is also an issue. Like, I wasn't like the original owner of it. Like, I don't have the original email, wasn't mine, as an example. And it seems like that in this dispute, like at first I was still able to log in, and it showed like it was disabled, blah blah blah, for impersonation, which is a trick they use. They kind of like make a profile that it looks exactly like yours, same profile picture, same pictures, and same bio and whatever, yeah. And they just like mass report you for impersonation, and then they wait like a few, I don't know, like 60 days, and then the name gets available or something. But it seems like in this dispute now that my account got locked or something. So I'm still trying to get it back, but on the other hand, I don't fuck with Instagram too much anymore. Like I liked Instagram a lot because I built mainly my main connections in like business I built through Instagram. So like all the people I know with whom I built brands, which I kind of like, I don't know, are my best friends are my best like online friends and stuff. I built them those connections, which brought me a lot of money too through Instagram. And I think it can be a powerful tool for that, especially also personal branding, if you use it the right way. But if you just like use it as a user, then I feel like it's like super brain numbing, and I don't know, it doesn't like give you a lot of value. Just scroll through Instagram, and if you use it for yourself to build a brand and stuff, it's super powerful. But like the other I don't think like the posts from looking at posts from other people like gives you a lot of value on Instagram,
For sure.
which is different on Twitter. I feel like I've started using Twitter, crypto Twitter, when I started getting more into crypto, which was like early last year, into DeFi, and I feel like on Twitter like it's a super short, exact tweets, well written. Short tweets, like straight to the point value, you know, and you can follow those specific people, and it's not like, I don't know, on Instagram everything is like superficial, like it has no no value. It's just like a facade, and like everyone's flexing on everyone. And even I felt like like when I started traveling this year again from Germany in September, like for 1.5 months straight, I posted every day like the best of my life, like the steak dinners and like the sick beaches, and I don't know, the 50-story view from Panama City. But then again, that's what everyone's doing. They're just showing like their best life, and I don't know, it's, if you're just sitting there at home, you just get anxiety, man, and I don't know, you feel like that's what their life really is. But then again, if you see it for yourself, like you're struggling every day with your own stuff, like even if it's not like, even if you're like one level above them, you still have your struggles every day, and I don't know. So I feel like I get way more value out of Twitter, so I'm on Twitter. Yeah, but I don't have a lot of followers. I started posting sometimes. I post some stuff, but yeah, that's that.
Cool, man. So I mean, I'll link your Twitter.
Yeah, you can
if you want. I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you though, what's like your like. Coming from marketing, like what's your like how do you want to like grow this, or like what's your goal with the podcast?
Well, My Latin Life has been around since 2014.
Oh, really?
The blog. So I bought an existing business.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I bought an existing business, and now I'm sort of like taking it in a slightly different direction. But it has like an existing fan base, and existing traffic and stuff, and then gonna build out some useful products and community stuff for people, you know.
All right.
Build some products around second residencies, around moving to Latin America, living in Latin America, digital nomad tips.
Okay. And so
advanced tax stuff.
It has like a bunch of content on it already. Yeah, like blog posts mainly.
Yep.
All right. Like how many blog posts or something? Like
Maybe over 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like how much like traffic or visitors does it get?
I don't want to say.
You don't want to say?
No.
Yeah.
Not on the podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
I'll share some of that stuff later, but
for sure.
But yeah, man.
You want to just like you just started the YouTube channel like to it now, or did the
Correct.
YouTube exist
as
well?
The YouTube's new. The podcast is new.
All right.
When this comes out, this will be episode like 5 or 6, probably,
so
something like that.
You're gonna post to YouTube somewhere else, Spotify or something?
Yeah, it's on Spotify. It's on Spotify, Google Podcasts. Trying to get on Apple Podcasts right now.
Yeah, nice. Cool. All right.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming out of monk mode.
For sure.
To do this interview. You'll have to like send this off to your old, internet friends. I think they get a kick out of it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll do that. But will you actually go to Panama as well now? Like on March or something? Maybe we can like continue our talk, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. we can talk about if we're going to
Carnival. It felt like 20 minutes went by or something.
I know, dude.
It's crazy.
Carnival might happen in Panama.
We'll be sick, man. And I didn't even know it existed.
Thanks for
All
coming
right,
on,
bro.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.